What's your accidentally racist moment? I was waiting to cross the road with my girlfriend one day when I got a really strong waft of Chinese food, and surprisingly it had come from a nearby restaurant. My automatic response was to exclaim, "Oh, I smell Chinese." And as I turned back towards my girlfriend I realized that we were standing next to two little old Chinese ladies who were looking at me in horror and disgust. The shame. A group of us were walking through a city we were visiting and my quite naive friend says I've been smelling Chinese for the past mile, not realizing they had been a Chinese couple walking behind us for the past 15 minutes. I used to live in a remote town deep in the woods of Northern California with my dad. He had an Australian shepherd named Black who was always getting into trouble. Anyway, I've got Black in the car at a gas station, go in to pay, come back out and he has jumped out of the car and is running across the street. I just start yelling Black, Black, no, Black at the top of my lungs. Suddenly comes into focus an African American family at a pump between me and the dog, staring at me, completely horrified. I'm like, I'm sorry, my dog's name is Black. He just ran across the street. The family looks across the street in unison. Black is nowhere in sight. Time slows down. I make a show of running across the street to look for him. Finally, thank God, as they were leaving I had Black by the collar and was dragging him back to the gas station. The whole family bursts out laughing. The dad was yelling Black and pointing at me as they pulled away. They probably still laugh about that. I had just watched Dude, Where's My Car? There's that scene where he remembers a documentary about smart monkeys using sticks to get ants and uses as something to disarm a bomb. Well, fast forward to a day at work and something is stuck back on the tip of an oven and I can't reach it. My black coworker uses a pokey tool we use to clean fryer to push it to me and I look at him and say, "Oh, you're one of the smart monkeys." I was just thinking about the movie. I realized real quick what I said and apologized. We had a good laugh about it. It was really embarrassing though. I am white. I've always called my white son my sweet little monkey because he used to make the cutest little monkey sounding noises as a baby. I was at a playground when he was preschool aged and the cutest little black girl of all time ran up to us and started playing. She just looked so dang cute. I was like, "You are such a sweet little monkey." Goddammit, I wanted to leave the country. My brother, picking up a black Hyundai accent at the address he was given, walks up to front desk of the office building. "Hey, I'm looking for a guy with an accent." Girl at front desk, "Oh, what kind of accent?" Thinks a moment. "I dunno, a black one?" This is almost a dad joke. I referee soccer and one time a team wearing white was playing against a team wearing red. The ball goes out of play touched by a red player. A black player on the white team goes to throw the ball in, and I point to confirm that the throw in is for the white team and I say black ball instead of white ball. Everybody looks at me knowing full well what happened. I tried to play it off as having said back there, but I highly doubt anyone bought that. Frick, I'd never get to sleep again. Growing up I was playing with my neighbors. I'm pretty much the only white kid around. My friends were being goofy and not focusing on the basketball game we were playing, so I playfully call them porch monkeys and encourage for the game to continue. Well, their guardian aunt heard me and lifted me up by one arm and took me inside. Asked me the who, what, where, why of the word, and I explained it just means goofy kids or rugrats to me, and that's what my dad would call us if we were playing around and he couldn't hear the TV. So we ended up going back to my place for the adults to talk. LOL. It's cool, I'm taking it back. This thing might be a bit hard to translate, but it fits the theme. Whole thing happened in Poland. I'm Polish as well. I was at a party once, and there was this black guy from Africa. He knew Polish, so he had no trouble getting along with everybody. At one point he brought a strawberry flavored vodka and was running around offering it to everyone. He approached me and said, "You want some?" To which I replied, "Thanks, I don't like colored ones. Ziki, Nilubi Kalorawik." Took me a while to realize what I said, but he immediately knew that it was about vodka, not him. We had a good laugh about it. Good thing grammatical cases and number help you out with that. I feel like in Polish a lot of ambiguity can be settled because we have this over the English language. I was heading to work and waiting to cross the street at an intersection. As the crosswalk sign went from a red hand indicating wait to a white man indicating walk, a jogger runs ahead of us and nearly gets hit by a car who tried to turn on red. After being stunned from seeing this jogger nearly get hit, the driver has the audacity to loudly honk her horn at him when it was clearly her mistake. Fuming from the adrenaline from seeing this guy nearly get killed, I yell out at the driver, "Hey, he was white," referring to the white man sign indicating walk, not the white guy who ran across the street. Immediately after yelling this, I realize how this could be totally misconstrued now seeing the woman driving is black and staring at me. Adding to this, I realize I'm walking in the same direction as many of my colleagues to work. I walk a different direction to work now. My dad asked a black female employee at Walmart for some help with picking a good watermelon. "You look like you would probably know what's the best watermelon." His intentions were to be, "I've seen you in produce many times. You seem to be the person to ask advice on choosing what is best to buy." He didn't realize his mistake until he was watching TV hours later and refused to go back for 2 months. I told my co-worker he had gorilla hands. He's black. As soon as I said it, I had a JD moment from Scrubs where I just screamed internally for 10 straight seconds. In college, apartment cleaning guy came in as scheduled. Big black dude who's nice as frick. We're doing the small talk thing. I move a few things around for him and pick up my then GF's binder. It spills a page of her notes and I retrieve it. I look at it and jokingly say, "PSH. We don't need emancipation." This is one of those things that I wake up thinking about at 3 AM. I think I will also wake up thinking about this at 3 AM. Now, yikes. I'm a lawyer and my paralegal is always trying to leave a little early. It's a game we play. She'll buy me a cookie at lunch and then plead to go home early. Usually I allow it because cookie. Once we actually had some strict deadlines to meet, so when she asked I said no. "I own you and I'm chaining you to your desk." There was silence. I totally forgot that she was black. Her response was to slowly raise her hand and say, "I object." I wanted Indian food. My friends wanted Italian. After sitting down at an Italian restaurant, I open the menu and joke, "I don't see any Indian food." I look up at our Indian waiter asking for our orders. Oh god, no. I used a cashier in a sub shop. One day, we were running low on chicken and only had a limited amount to make sandwiches with. We were told at the beginning of the shift to call over to the line workers to ask how we were doing on chicken every few transactions. To be sure we didn't let someone order a sub with chicken after we had run out. Well, a few minutes had gone by and multiple transactions had occurred. So I called to the line, "How we doing on chicken, guys?" Silence. Then one of the guys calls back that we had about 1 large sub's worth left. I turn and realize a black family had just walked in the door right before my very loud "Restaurants allowed" inquiry. They looked at me weird, probably thinking I was worried they'd all order fried chicken or something. After all, I had yelled that as soon as they walked in the door. I still cringe when I think about it. That's more white guilt than anything. Everyone loves chicken, it's not just black people and they know it. Everyone loves watermelon too. Now grape soda on the other hand. Sergeant friend of mine had a dead battery and asked a helpful black man for a slave. In the army, a slave cable is a specialized jumper cable designed to work on military vehicles. So asking for a slave is like asking for a jump. Nice civilian guy did not know this and just thought my friend was being a racist prick. I was on the bus to school and I saw an old friend from a previous school. He's black and I'm white, and we had a pretty cool catch up. However, when he was about to get off the bus, being the smooth guy I am, my brain tried to say both "see you" and "bye" at the same time. The result was me shouting at a black dude on a busy bus, "I'll buy you." Yikes. I'll buy you. I'm white and one of my best friends is black. We have an agreement that when the race wars finally start, depending on whichever race wins, one of us would buy the other and treat him well. When I worked as a summer camp counselor, we gave themed awards to our campers at the end of the week. One week, I choose Harry Potter as my theme. I gave the only black kid in my cabin the Sirius Black Award. I'm a firefighter paramedic and just the other day we had a medical aid call for a Chinese woman complaining of pain. She localizes her pain at her upper right abdomen, where the liver is located. One side effect of liver failure, something that could cause that pain, is jaundice, or yellowing of the skin. So I absent-mindedly said, you look a little yellow, and my captain immediately walks right up to me, looks at me incredulously and asks really. Fortunately the patient and family missed it. 10th grade AP World History. We were writing some sort of essay on World War II and I was pressed for time, so instead of Japanese I abbreviated as Japs. Not realizing that was highly inappropriate for that essay. I figured British people are Brits, so Japs must also be okay. Teacher let everyone know first thing next class. Yikes. Man, the other day when I was getting my hair cut I was talking to the lady and a possible new job. The barber was a black lady and I'm white. The job involves moving cross country. We were chatting about it and I joked about moving to a whole new place and I said something about being sold into human trafficking. There was an awkward pause but she rolled with it. Then we were talking about my sibling's wedding and how it's police themed. Weird, but not my wedding. And she joked it could be worse. It could be hillbilly themed. She actually got more worried that I would be offended by a hillbilly comment than a slavery joke, but I guess I was the tip holder at that point. I tipped her very well, just in case. I love the concept of you both making jokes and then moments later trying to remove your foot from your mouth. Interactions like this make me really hopeful for the world. My almost accidentally racist story. I watched a lot of Looney Tunes as a kid and I used to say how now brown cow whenever a friend was thinking about something or was in a tough spot in a game. Well, in college I was playing pool with a very overweight African American girl and I had left her in a terrible position on the table. Her only choice really was to just whack the heck out of it. Just as she lined up to shoot I said, "How now bro? Good luck." I was at the slave house at Gorée Island in Senegal with my soccer team. My team was all white with the exception of our black goalie. We were touring the different rooms where they kept the slaves, and I was fascinated with how many people they kept in such small spaces, with up to 200 people stuffed in something about the same size as a regular living room. As our goalie walked in one of them, I asked him to stand still and let me take a picture so people could see how it looked like, referencing the size of the room and how small it was, not the fact that he was black. He just stared at me, and I quickly understood what I just said and started apologizing. He was cool about it, but my god was that embarrassing. This was about 5 years ago. Girlfriend and I are throwing a joint birthday party at our house. Her and 2 friends share a birthday. We had done a lot of work and cooking to prep for the party. The doorbell rings. Girlfriend and I answer it. Open the door to find an Asian man holding a large brown paper bag who immediately asks, "Is Tim here?" I was a little offended after all our hard work cooking and turned back to yell across the room and over the entire party, "Tim, did you order effing Chinese food?" Asian guy sees Tim and steps past me to give him a hug and pulls a bottle of scotch out of the brown bag that he had bought as a gift for his birthday. In my defense, who doesn't introduce themselves to the hosts of a party the first time they come to your door? LOL. Never quite did live that one down, but the Asian guy, Japanese in fact, and I are actually really good friends now to this day. Even the night of we were able to laugh about it after I apologized profusely. My partner is Cuban. Before meeting her I had never eaten a papaya. I told her parents about how she gave me my first papaya to eat. Apparently papaya is slang for lady parts in some part of Cuba. Really wish I hadn't told her dad how surprisingly juicy the papaya his daughter gave me was. Not so much racist as a clash of cultures I guess, but still mortifying. I'm white and have a cousin who inherited all his skin tone genes from his black father and, therefore, he was the only person in my whole, otherwise very pasty white, family that I know of who is black. His father left before he was born and he's older than me, so I never met his dad. For years, I'd refer to him as my chocolate cousin. It wasn't until my friend explained to me when I was about 10 that I realized why everyone used to flinch when I said it. I used to work with a Hispanic lady who taught her kids to refer to people as different types of chocolate: white, milk, dark. Her grandkids were her chocolate kisses. She was married to a black man, so I think that was just the best way she could come up with for her family. I always found it uncomfortable though. My 10-year-old and 6-year-old sons take taekwondo from a white instructor. I'm a Korean adoptee in the small town Midwest. And this is important to the story. The instructor is a genuinely nice guy and super kind. At the end of each class, he has a brief chat with the students, basically kind of imparting a lesson about being a good person inside and outside of class. For this session, the talk was about respecting other people regardless of their race or station in life. He begins with something like, there are 4 different kinds of people on earth. Black people, white people, red people, and yellow people. Average lurkers 10-year-old and 7-year-old come up to the front of the class. My children walk up to the front of class and stand beside their instructor. Instructor, hey boys, where is your mom from? Boys seem a bit confused, but gamely reply, South Korea. Instructor, class, people from Asia are yellow people. Chinese, Japanese, and Korean people are considered Oriental or yellow people. My boys come home and laughingly tell me that they are yellow people and I am too. Their dad is not Asian. I had to explain to the boys that even though this was a well-intentioned talk, most Asian people are not super happy with being referred to as yellow or Oriental unless it is in a joking manner. There are blue people in Appalachia too. I was getting groceries and I bought 3 boxes of Special K cereal. Well, I went to the checkout line and the African American cashier asked me with a smirk on her face if I liked K's. I was a bit confused, so I just went on my way. I got home and put the boxes next to each other on the shelf, and then it dawned on me that I had spelled KKK in front of the cashier with my cereal. I think she was messing with you. My fiance is Japanese and has a lot of Japanese friends. I'm white but I speak fluent Japanese. We're at a Japanese cultural event in the neighborhood mulling around, when suddenly he turns to greet the East Asian couple. The says "oh you" when he first sees them, which is like the equivalent of "oh hey so I." Not missing a beat, say "konnichiwa" with a smile, and there's this full second of awkward silence. They were Korean American. We're at a Japanese cultural event. You had an easy pass. Just greet everyone that way. I was an odd dude in high school and one of my shticks was to endearingly call people in my grade cute animal names. So for example, I would go up to someone I knew and be like, hey little puppy. Don't ask why. Anyway, one day I was going up to say hi to the one black girl in our grade and I say, hey monkey. It took me a second to realize what I had done, but it was too late. So in order to remedy the situation, I turned to the Indian girl beside her and said hey other monkey to her in order to prove I wasn't racist. That didn't over well either. I'm retarded. Double save or double fail. I was at a party where a blunt was being passed around and I tried passing it to a black guy I hadn't met. He said I'd love to, but I can't right now, to which I replied, oh, you on probation? Apparently he was in the Navy and did not like that suggestion at all. But honestly, the only reason I made the assumption was because 2 of my friends, both of them white, had recently been busted for possession and were unable to smoke. I tried explaining, but I'm not sure how well it went over. To be fair, him saying I'd love to does lead one more to the probation assumption. While working with a Hispanic friend, a carabiner was in the way of our workspace. I said, get that beaner out of here. I meant the clip, not my friend. I have been made fun of relentlessly for it, but my friend didn't really mind. In fact, his new nickname has become Friolito, or Little Bean. It's all really quite terrible. Frigilito. A long time ago I met an Indian man whose last name was Patel. We were talking and he mentioned his wife really liked turtles. I worked with an Indian woman whose last name was Patel and had turtles. So I asked if she was his wife. She was not. Trying to explain why I asked was awkward, but he's super nice and we still chat when we see each other. I've learned since that what I did was akin to asking a white Craig Smith, hey, are you married to Jennifer? She likes dogs. Oh, the cringe. Yeah, unless they were one of 2 Indian families in town. Not a safe assumption. Capital S. Also for future reference, Patel is a super duper common Indian surname. Does this count? Was my mom being accidentally racist? I'm Filipino American. The first time I brought my then boyfriend, now husband, who is Caucasian, home to meet my family, my mom cooked a meal with rice, ham, veggies, etc. After we said grace and started to dish up, she turned to him and asked, have you ever had rice before? 26 years later, we still joke about it. The ham is another story altogether. I was in a giant hot tub with my friends at a water park. and all the guys sat on one side and the girls sat on the other. My buddy goes separate, but equal, and then turns around to see a black family literally 3 feet away from us staring at him. Yikes. My little brother-in-law, who was maybe 6 at the time, saw a little Asian kid in a stroller. He became fixated on the kid's eyes and loudly kept asking my mill, why is that baby so angry? You know, because Asian eyes. Never had I seen my mother-in-law look so horrified. It made me smile. Not mine but my ex-mother-in-law. We had a large group at a church's chicken in Indianapolis. The person taking our order was black. When she finished ordering and he asked where we were sitting, she responded, "We are over here with the clan." Clan, with a C. Scottish clan. We're Scottish. I swear, oh god, just kill me now. When I was about 4, I was on an elevator with my mom and sister. An African American lady came on and I asked, "Mom, what's wrong with her skin?" Obviously, my mom was horrified. If I hear a very thick accent, I will unconsciously begin to mimic it. It sounds like teasing apparently, and got me called names when I worked at a Subway by a Vietnamese church. I now don't speak at all if possible. Holy frick, same. My friends always mimicked accents in middle school and high school. Now whenever I hear someone speak with an accent, I have to resist the urge to mimic it. Not mine, but something happened to me. I am Asian and was a Starbucks barista. I handed this guy his coffee and he responded "thank you" in Chinese. Although I'm not Chinese, I wasn't offended or anything. Just wanted to bust his balls jokingly, so I called him out. He was so apologetic about it. Said he just got back to the US after spending a decade in China, so it was more of a habit than racial profiling. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.